Hello YouTube, I'm the Raging Beard, and today I just thought I'd do a little unboxing of this parcel which unexpectedly arrived, delivered by DPD this morning. I had no prior warning that it had even been shipped. I believe it's from Poland, so what I'm hoping it is the button box and rim that I ordered from a chap on eBay a bit over a month ago. For my direct drive wheel. I'd ordered it all, hopefully to arrive roughly around the same time. This took longer than he had predicted, but to be fair, he appears to be a one-man band on eBay, and if he's got orders that he's finding it hard to fill, then more power to him, you know, and it's good for our hobby too. The more manufacturers out there, the better. So, I've waffled on a bit there, but that's just introducing what I hope is in here. Let's get into it and see what my impressions are of it, what my feel of it. First box. Okay. Button plate. The smell of freshly printed plastic. Okay. So, there we go. We've got all the buttons are the same. It's 10 buttons there. 11, 12, and rotary encoders. Oh, they feel nice. They're nice. Yeah, it all feels pretty good there. It's quite sturdy. The buttons feel good. You never know if they're going to feel cheap and whatnot, but they all feel good. But that's really nice. I don't know if you can hear the just a nice smooth motion, but you can feel the sort of clicking as it turns there. So USB cord fitted that side. Hold it to the microphone. How's that going to work? Fitted that side, coiled to your USB. Right, there's the magnets in there because it's got the magnet paddles. And what's this say? Something not in English, it looks like. So I'm guessing that they can replace them if you want small ones. That's what it looks like. I'm assuming they pull off and you push them on. Now, how do these fit? Do they just slot in? Alright, right, so you've got to undo these two little bolts, sort of going further. And there's the hole there, so those bolts act as a hinge. So that's not in as far as it will go, but I mean already that with the magnets that feels pretty good compared to the G25, G29 sorry I had. Quite a thick bit of aluminium there. Nice. So I'm just going to try and put it together with the wheel, see if it goes how I think it goes, how I think it works. And it's a very small Allen key there. Yeah, a little fiddly. It's going to take some time. I won't ask you to wait with me. Okay, so I've undone these two bolts to create the gap there, and you definitely want something longer than a little puny Allen key like that. Ideally like a, one with like a T wrench, whatever they call it. Took forever, but got there in the end. So that's going to be my upshift. So the way I can tell is I push the switch down, put that through, it pulls into place. Does feel good. And that's a question of doing these up, which is going to be a pain in the arse. Get it started by hand. And then I'll get the other side on. Just before I put the downshift side in, one thing that's apparent is this bolt here, it looks like you can adjust the reach. And in fact you can do it when it's put in. That's pretty cool. Yeah, depending on your wheel size, you can move it in or out a little bit. Just a nice bit of adjustability there. Anyway, I'll carry on putting this side in. Okay, so both sides on. And with them tightened up, so there's no movement up or down, man, they feel solid. That's a really good feel. I knew that the magnet style is meant to be better. That's what I read, and it certainly feels it. Okay, so let's get this mounted between the wheel and the quick release. So are these bolts long enough? Otherwise it's another trip out again. Alright, let's give it a go. How thick is that plastic? Oh man, it's not a plastic. The front is metal as well, which is nice. So it goes right. I've got to push out the pointless horn. So that goes. Uh-oh. Right, another issue. It doesn't quite line up with the holes. These are in the way. But maybe he's thought of that. Maybe that's what these are for. So how do these come off? I'm assuming they just pull off. Right, they do just pull off. Oh, come on. Right, if it doesn't go on with these on, I have no idea what happens then. Okay. Still just as nice, obviously. Man. Right. Now I hope this will work. I am gutted if it doesn't. Yeah. that works. So it comes. It's got numerous holes pattern in it. See, I'm using the 76 bolt pattern. Right, I might get away with this. The bottom one went in, then these two, which pulled it a little closer than this. I'm hoping it will gradually pull it closer until I can get that top one done. It's not ideal, I mean they're barely on, but they're on. Yep, success. Okay, there we go, look at that. Looking pretty good, huh? So he sells like a couple of different style rims for like open wheelers. You can choose, the one I bought you can choose if you want leather grips or Alcantara. I went with Alcantara, and I believe you can even do whatever colour stitching you want. I asked for all black, so it says all black here, although if I opened it and the stitching was any colour, I don't think I'd really care. So this should just be a complete item, shouldn't have to do anything. Again, for the price, I think it was 220 odd quid, something like that, for a complete article. Yeah, what's that? Stand? 3D printed stand. Okay, I'll assume. Okay with that. Nice. There we go. It's got his sticker on there, sim line. Okay, more choices of rotary switches there. Right. Okay. Here we are. That's what it looks like. Okay, nice feel, solid, really solid, nice and thick, nice black finish, same buttons, a couple of different buttons here. These are different. Are those the analog buttons? I don't know. They feel like they're more pressure sensitive, that makes sense. They're not just clicky on off, so maybe. And then rotary encoders here. Yeah. And if this is a stand, how does that go? Yeah, look at that. That's nice. He did say, in sort of, obviously English isn't his first language, but he said along the lines of he was including a gift, which I assume is a stand, which is quite nice. I don't intend to be using it. I'm going to mount quick releases on the wall, so when I take them off, they clamp to the wall. But I mean, that does look good, doesn't it? Come on. You can expect to pay a lot more for something like that. I obviously haven't used it. I'm assuming it all works, and I'll find out. But the feel of the build quality is pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, looking forward to trying it out. Okay, so I've got another quick release, so I'll get that mounted on here now. Okay, so as it comes, all the bolts that go through and out the back to go either onto your your OSW onto whatever quick release you're using, it assumes you're going to put this through and then bolt the other side. With this, you just bolt straight into it. You go to undo these, where you go to put them on, and you can't turn these without them. Basically, when you turn these counterclockwise, they unscrew out because recessed in each of these is a nut, which I assume, if you take them all off, is actually holding this back on. So what I propose to do here is undo them a long way, then push them through so the recessed nut comes out, take that out, and if it is indeed all holding this on, it won't matter because this will pull the back on, hold it all together anyway. So depending on whether you're able to put the nuts on the other side, or whether you're securing it to, or if you're bolting in direct, then you'll want to do it how I'm doing it. Take out these recessed nuts. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's apparent I could pull that back off now if I want. There's nothing else holding it on. So now the bolts freely move through the wheel. So it should be free now to screw it straight on. And that's assuming these bolts aren't too long. No, that appear to be great, so I'll carry on. I'll tighten this all up now. Okay, so that's the quick release completely on. Tight as anything, the bolts weren't too long. It's a shame his sticker covered the bolts a little bit, so the sticker's got a little damaged. You know, it's just a shame, little detail. But you know, I want it on there. I think it looks good. So the paddles are basically same sort of affair as on the other button plate. They feel great. Smaller, obviously. Little still ability to. These look like they're on their furthest out as they'll go. Look like they'll go in a little bit if you needed, but you know, feels like they're great for the size of the wheel. So let's go and see how they are in situ on the rig. Right, so I have noticed a slight issue. Pushing this back all the way, it gets kind of stuck behind the pedal mechanisms. I'll try putting it on, see how it goes. I haven't tried this yet, but I mean, as you can see, look, it's now stuck behind. I'm hoping by doing this, it'll manipulate. Well, that forces it out. So, how do I grab it to put it on? Right, it's on, but the lock-in bit isn't on. So it's not tight. There we go, it's gone. It's a bit of a faff. Maybe over multiple times it will loosen up and be better. But as it is, you know, there we go, it's on. It's solid. Power the wheel on. Okay, so let's connect it up. That'll do. That'll do. Don't mind the driving, please. a lot harder for me in 2D. It's like a whole different game than VR, man. Can't spot can't hit the apexes. I feel like I'm lost on track half the time. Yeah, whatever. What view is that? So I've jumped into Project Cars, Circuit of the Americas, I think this is called, this track. I don't really know it that well, but you know, I've got to learn some new tracks. So in the Ferrari, I'm in the 488 GT3, which would be nice to be able to drive with flappy paddles instead of the sequential shifter, which I've had to use lately. So let's get this show on the road. Right, poke you, hit the speed limits. So I don't really know the track particularly. Don't really know the car particularly though. Just trying to get a feel for. Oh, there we go. I didn't like that sign. Alright, okay, so all I've got really to compare this to is a G29, which I think is a good wheel. You know, it's a good wheel. Doesn't really compare, obviously, with electric direct drive. It's unfair to compare them. But the shifters, you know, that's just a bit of alloy, I guess, on whatever micro switch, whatever they use. Yeah, it gets the job done. But instantly, these feel, you know, just so much, how do I put it, cleaner, crisper. I haven't driven any car with proper flappy paddles, like a race car. Never driven a race car with any kind of gearing, but I would imagine this to be more what it's like. Just very crisp, a lovely tactile feel. Even the sound of the press, not that I'll hear that in VR, you know, headset on and that, but now I've got the force feedback up too high here. I'm not used to it. How hard you got to turn it. You have to turn it down in the ini file or in the game. Jesus. I mean, this is set at like 60% power in the firmware, and people are doing the 100% challenge. I mean, also it's turned down in game. How? I mean, oh no. So let's have a look. Go. Let's see, it's closer to me because the part behind it, and I'll compare the two after in a mo. It's like an inch or so. It's noticeable. I'm not saying it's a problem, but right, as usual, you can poke your. Oh, hello, Christ. Yeah, I don't know if I'm meant to be changing rotation or whatever. Now I'm in a Formula car. Poke you. Yeah, so being smaller, wow, it does feel. I don't know where the track goes, I haven't been here in a long time. Nearly lost it. That's flat out. I think it's a horrible right-hander here, I believe. The car doesn't like to behave. Oh no, this is the, that's the super fast. See, not where I think I am. Mainly because I haven't been here in ages, but also because it's a lot harder in 2D than we are now. Anyway, but the wheel, I mean, it feels great. No, I was thinking, what was I, did I need to buy a Formula wheel instantly? Yeah, it's got obviously the Alcantara being a smaller wheel, how the force is coming through. Shifters smaller, with less throw on them. That make well, but I mean the reach out is smaller. Yeah. Don't think I like these too much. I'll probably take them off. Put the other encoders on. The other the knobs. Okay, so I've given both button plates, well, the wheel and button plate, a try. Not in my native environment of VR, but I'll do that later. But no in-depth reviews required, really. They do what they say on the box, and they do it very well for a good price. So all told, well, this was 250 or so. The button block plate maybe 125 or so. But even including this rim, this AMP rim, which is like 95 quid, all of this was less, probably between 450 and 500 quid. And even if you include the 2 quick releases, and they're 15 quid each, so you're still looking around the 500 quid mark for everything here. I mean, and you can buy, there's plenty of places that are selling a wheel and button box for way more than that. And I've got all of this here for that price. By taking a gamble on Simline on eBay, yeah, he's got 100% good feedback, but not a lot of it. I think there was 17 or so, or maybe less feedback at the time. But I thought, I'll give it a go. Great communication with him. I think it'd taken a while because he didn't like the stitching that he'd finished, so he redid it, which is nice. It's a shame I had to mess the sticker up a bit, but it still looks fine. So they work great, the buttons feel great, the shifts feel brilliant. So any negatives? Well, I'm not saying that it's a negative with the button plate per se. I mean, maybe he measured this in mind with, say, the Q1R quick release or something else, but I've got to imagine this is a common quick release people use because it's cheap on eBay. This hole appears to be around, the recess appears to be around 900mm, but it's closer here. These don't sit at the outer diameter of that 900mm. That's where the problem is. It does work. Well, like I say, if I just file in a little bit, maybe I might try that, or I might just keep going and see if it works itself better, or I might just live with it as is. I don't know, but it does work. It's great that you get the different knobs here, so I've got a pack of different dials to use, spares. So obviously the wheel fits on with just these ones for me. I love the coiled USB cable. I like that it's secured in there, so there's no chance of it coming out that end. The F1 star rim, it's nice that it comes with a little stand. I won't be using it, doesn't sit very well with the quick release on the back, but it's nice that it comes with that stand and it looks good. Can't argue it doesn't look good. I don't intend using it because how I tend to put it on the wall. I like that it's got sort of the raised sim line on the back. It's very nice, professional. I like that both have adjustable in and out for the paddles, but they just feel brilliant. It all feels sturdy. The difference between this one and that one, as I say, this section here. So if I can hold them up side by side, see this one's button plate is sort of hollow in the middle, so it goes right up against, the quick release goes right up against the wheel. This one's kept away more, but maybe by 1.5 inches compared to that one. So it's bringing the wheel a little closer to yourself. Not a lot, I'd say, to be really detrimental, but just something to be aware of. Yeah, I mean, there's ways around that. Even if you want to, you can get a little extension to put on that one to make them the same and adjust your rig accordingly. You know, I'm not. It felt good to me. I obviously can't comment on long-term use. Regards to the stitching on this, I can't say if it's good or bad. It looks good, but you know, there we go. I'll have to just see how it holds up. But I'm very impressed with it all. So yeah, it's all great. Check out the links. Recommend the guy. Yeah, you can have a bit of a wait, but built to order and built to your spec. I believe you'll change the button colours if you want. Anyway, there you have it. So really impressed. I'm going to tidy up, have something to eat, then jump in VR.